What's up, guys? Kian back here, back with another vlog, and we're in Berlin for the second week. So I'm just kind of doing another solo trip, and I'm really excited to see what I run into. I don't know. The first thing we're doing is like a little tour. So it's a 3-hour. Yo, what are you, bro? Watch where you're going, bro. Yo, who are you, bro?
Whoa, what are you doing?
This is Landon for Elke Street. Yo, bro, what are you doing in Berlin, bro?
Yo, you know, I had to touch Berlin.
No way. Okay, I guess we're not doing a solo trip anymore. Gonna do a 2-man trip. So yeah, we're in Berlin this weekend. We're gonna check out all the cool monuments, and the first stop is gonna be a nice little 3-hour walking tour. So we'll take you guys along. I don't know how much I'll record from that, but we're gonna go to museums as well later today. So you'll definitely see some of that. Stay tuned. What's going on, guys? So the first update before we go on our tour is the Berlin Wall. Yo, that's what to climb over. So it's insane. You can see here we got like this one probably like 10-foot concrete barrier, but then I don't think it's visible, but there's another one. So like there's a 100-meter or 60-meter kind of span between the two walls where they have the observation post there. So that's where the watchman would be having the order to shoot at anybody trying to get across. And then over there you have the what seems to be like a museum or something, and also a lookout by those stairs. So it's really interesting, and there's even more to it, but this is just in general the memorial to the Berlin Wall. All right, guys, so we're still on the Berlin Memorial. You can see that's where we just were with that observation post, and it's really interesting here how they have the progression of building the wall in 1961 all the way to 1990 at its final evolution. And here you can also see with those iron beams, it shows where the wall continues all the way along the boulevard. What's up, guys? Another update. We're on Museum Island, right, Landon?
Yes, sir.
So we got a nice little fountain here. We're joking, there's like a big bowl all the way up back there where you have the Alta Museum. So that's one of the most famous structures because that's where Hitler gave some speeches to this big square. And yeah, there's a big Protestant church. And lastly, that is where the palace of the Kaiser was during the Prussian Empire. All right, guys, so behind me you can see what is essentially the National War Memorial to commemorate all of the victims of essentially all of the historical tragedies. And it's pretty much a mother holding her dying son in a hollow room. I can show you guys later if we get the chance. And then that pink building that you see behind me was a location of an attempted assassination on Hitler, where somebody tried to kill him by suicide bombing. However, wait, do you remember why it failed, the suicide bombing?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna try to think. I remember the tour guide told us why, but basically that's one of the locations of an attempted assassination. Alright, guys, so we're at the Humboldt University. You can see there, that's the law faculty, and that's the main building there with the pride flag, Humboldt Universität.
Can you grab my book for me?
Yeah, look at this, guys. It's probably not visible on the camera, but this is basically a memorial to the 20,000 burnt books. You'll see there's a glass here. Basically, there's a 50 square meter room there with shelves to fill 20,000 books that are empty, because in 1933, during the rise of the Nazis, they burnt many books, many of them written by Jewish authors, as a show of basically. So the next stop here is Trabi World, which is the only car made and manufactured by the German Democratic Republic, or East Germany. So that's what they were looking like. They had a very big reputation for being extremely high gas guzzling cars, and also very bad for the environment in terms of exhaust. And overall, I'm not sure if it was the best car compared to the ones being produced in the West, but it's incredible. They have like an entire theme park just about these cars. So even though they're not the best, they still have quite a reputation to this date because they were the only one that was made by East Germany. You can even see some here on the streets, which are actually being driven.
we're at the LGBTQ parade, so look at that. And you can even see here.
So we're out here in the National Holocaust Memorial. Landon's out here vlogging as well. And it's incredible how there's all these different stones. So it's supposed to represent like how the Jewish people were feeling lost because of their discrimination. And you can't really know where you're going since there's all these concrete beams everywhere. And there's much more symbolism that I'm not aware of, but that's just some of it. There's 2,711 of these tall concrete columns that make the memorial. What's going on, guys? So the tour is now completed, but we're here at the Brandenburg Gate, and you can also see what's the building over there with the glass dome, Landon. Do you remember the name?
That's the parliament.
Yeah, so the Reichstag, that's what it's called, but basically it's a parliament. And you can see here they have the cobblestones, which essentially represent where the Berlin Wall was dividing the two cities. And here we're at basically the juncture. So this is where it would have like split off. So at this corner is where the wall met and where the two cities were divided. But other than that, the one thing I didn't see last week when I was here was the US Embassy, but you have it here. And everything is Pride, as you can see, because of Pride Month, I guess. But as you can observe over there, that's the US flag, which represents the embassy. All right, guys, check it out here at the Canadian Embassy. What are your thoughts on the Canadian Embassy, Landon? Is it like living up to expectations or not really?
Yeah. I think I like Homo Hut though.
Huh?
I think I like it.
Right. The only thing is that all other embassies, they have like a full police guard presence, but this one is really just a restaurant underneath.
Yeah.
So they're not really
Freedom.
respecting. They're not really. Okay, I guess it's freedom, but they need to respect Canada. So check it out, guys. The building behind me is the only building in all of Berlin that was not touched during the bombing in the Second World War. If you look at it, it's a very robust building that was the head of the Luftwaffe, the German basically air department of the military. And even though it's so massive, it wasn't touched. The reason why, or one of the theories, is because they used it as a landmark to essentially orient themselves when they were flying over the sky in order to know how to bomb the other regions, because at that time radar technology was not as advanced. Hi guys, so check it out. We're at Checkpoint Charlie, which is one of the most well-known checkpoints in the East Berlin, West Berlin wall border. So there's a lot of different historical kind of symbols here. So you have all the flags of the four powers, the hammer and the scepter, I forget what it's exactly called. And then looks like they closed down the road, but if you look here, you'll see that that's where the US soldiers were stationed, in that little booth where they would basically let the military people through, since I'm not sure if this was actually a civilian crossing or if it was only used for military purposes, but it's written there US Army. And then you can even see there a picture of one of the Soviet guards, the last one to ever work at the checkpoint before it was closed. So guys, check it out. Peter Fechter was one of the first people to get killed trying to cross the Berlin Wall in 1962. Only 1 year after it was built. You can see that this is where the Berlin Wall was, and he was the one who was shot and then essentially bled to death because nobody came to help him medically. So it's quite a tragic death, and that seems to be the memorial for his I think so. So here we are, guys, at a very important landmark in Berlin. You have two major churches. The one over here is the Lutheran Church, and they're both domed. So that's the Lutheran Church, and this is this is the French Catholic Church. And this one is actually copied off of this one here, and it was all rebuilt during the Second World War, except for the statues, which you see are quite degraded. That's because they were thrown into the canal during the Second World War in order to prevent them from being destroyed, and then they were brought back to be repositioned in their original spot once the actual buildings are rebuilt. But you can see now they have so much renovations going on, as it takes a lot of work to maintain these buildings. Hi guys, so we're here on the top of the Humboldt Forum, which was the ancient palace of the emperor of the Prussian Empire, and it was rebuilt after the Second World War since it was destroyed. But yeah, you have a pretty solid view if I can focus on all of Berlin. Of course, the view's probably better from that TV tower, but it's like 24 euros, so this is like kind of in between. It was only 150, and you still have a pretty panoramic view. Once more, that's like the museum island over there, and yeah, it's a full 360, so I would recommend it if you're in Berlin.